So Vihar, you got another one here. All right, so tell me where you're playing out of.
I'm playing out of San Jose.
San Jose. Bay 101 or what?
No, Casino Matrix. It's across
Oh,
the road.
Matrix. Okay. So Matrix in San Jose. Okay. I've played there many times. What's the size of the
Yeah.
game?
235, and the $10 straddles on.
2, 3 plus. Okay. And how deep are you?
About 2K deep right here.
2K. Okay.
So like the action isn't super important, but like here's how it goes. So he's in seat 5, I'm in seat 8, and under the gun limps. I bump it up to 50. I have King Jack off. I was gonna leave before this, but I decided to play one last hand. And
Okay.
then a player in the late position calls like around cutoff.
Mm-hmm.
And then the guy in the big blind calls. The big blind's the main villain here.
All right. So you make it 50 over the top of a limp. King Jack off. LP calls. Big blind calls. Limper calls or doesn't matter.
Yeah, limper calls.
But the big blind is the guy that's the primary issue here. All right. So limper calls, and so it's like 4 or 5 ways to the flop, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So the flop is King Jack 10 rainbow.
Mhm.
I think the 10's a spade.
Okay. You got top 2.
Top 2.
Yep.
Pretty much the nuts here. And it checks to me, and I lead out for 110.
Okay.
And the big blind calls. So it's heads up to the turn.
So heads up. So you bet 110 with top 2, and the big blind makes the call, and you are now heads up, and it's probably, I think it is something like 310 in the pot. Okay.
It should be like 415. I think so.
What, 220?
But yeah.
Oh, maybe there was 5 people. Oh, 415. Okay. All right. So 415 in the pot. Okay.
Turns a total blank. It's a deuce of spades. So it puts a flush draw out there, but
Okay.
it's a deuce and checks to me. And so I size up to about 300.
All right. So check. Hero bets 300. Okay.
Makes a call.
So big blind calls. And now the pot is just over 1,000, 1,015. And you guys still have like 1,400 left or something like that, right?
Yeah, we still got over one.
Yeah. Okay.
And the river's a brick. It's an 8 offsuit.
And he checks to you?
So, yeah, it doesn't complete any draws. It checks to me. It'd actually take a while. I started thinking about what I want to bet to try and get max value here.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a true brick in the sense that like somehow if you had a hand like 7-9 here that picked up spades on the turn, you can back into some straights that pick up spades here on the turn as opposed to like the 3 of hearts. But okay, yeah, you're definitely gonna bet. You're definitely gonna bet, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I take a while. I count my chips out and stuff. I'm looking down. I'm not even looking at them.
Mm-hmm.
And I bet about 650. Okay. I don't like the size of the bet, like later on thinking about it. But either way, I look up after betting, and the villain's just staring at me. And he's like, "You just checked, right?" So and I'm like, "What are you talking?"
So you bet 6. He checks. You bet 650, and now this guy stares at you, looking at you, and he says, "You just checked, right?"
Yeah.
And
I'm like, "What are you talking about? When did I ever check, right?"
Mm-hmm.
And then he's like, he tells the dealer, "I checked, right?" And the dealer's like, "I don't know. Let's bring the floor over." Like just immediately they bring the floor over, right?
So what did the dealer say, by the way, before the floor came over?
The dealer was like, I'm not sure. Like he didn't even say anything really. He just wanted the floor over, because it was going to be an argument. Because I was ready to start arguing, right?
By the way, so just to give everybody, I mean, it's different. I don't know where it is at Matrix, but this, as I've said many times on the show before, and I would you're going to tell me if I'm correct or not. Most of the time in California, at all the rooms that I've played at, especially in Southern California, the dealer's command of English as their first language is fairly poor. Most of the dealers are Chinese, and they're doing it as their job. They just don't know English that well. What ends up happening is that they then cannot really communicate to what has really gone on to the floor. Now, the other thing that happens too is, and maybe it's somewhat of a result of that there is no communication because they don't have control over the language. They almost become just like card pitchers that don't pay attention to the game. That's an offshoot of that. So when you get into situations like this, if the floor goes to the dealer, unlike in some other areas of the country, they're not going to get any reliable information from the dealer. You have to know that going in. Was that kind of like what that is here too?
No, this dealer wasn't Asian.
Okay.
He was like Mexican. It might be better if he's Asian because the floor is also Asian. And like,
you mean just to be able to talk? Are they allowed to?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Are they allowed to do that though? I don't even know. That's an interesting question.
Allowed to do what?
So let's say that you've got a Chinese dealer and a Chinese floor guy, and the floor guy asks the dealer what happened. Can the dealer tell him what happened in Chinese?
I'm not sure. They're mostly Vietnamese, I think.
Whatever it is. Yeah, whatever it is.
Yeah.
No, that's interesting. All right, so Hispanic guy brings up another funny thing here where I lived in California for so long. You said Mexican guy, right? So I lived in LA for so long. When you live in California, especially in Southern California, using the word Mexican is absolutely 100% acceptable and interchangeable with Hispanic.
Yeah.
100%. There's nothing derogatory about it. We say Mexican all the time. If you come back here to where I live now around the Boston area, it's derogatory. I used it in my podcast one time to describe a Hispanic guy. I said it was a Mexican guy, and the guy emailed me, or somebody emailed me, a subscriber, and he was pissed. And it was a derogatory thing, but in California, it's different. Anyways, okay, so they call the floor. Yep.
And the dealer says that I put my hands up. The thing is, I don't really remember exactly what I did, right? Because I was just thinking.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't wave my hand forward. I didn't tap the table, right? I didn't do anything that I consider a checking motion. Yeah. And then the floor just rules that it's going to be a check back because I put my hands up.
Because you put your hands up? But did you even realize what you were doing?
Absolutely not. I was like, what are you talking about? Because I was just confused. I was like, I didn't do that. I'm saying that because I don't know what I did.
So did the floor ask the dealer what happened?
Yeah. And the dealer just kind of said he put his hands up.
And the problem here is that I can kind of see where this is going. I bet
because
let me ask you, because I don't remember. Did this guy have a hand that a king, a weaker king?
We went to showdown and he showed king 4 missed flush. He was floating the top pair.
Yeah, that's.
The thing is, I almost feel like this guy wanted me to check to get the cheap showdown.
Of course,
he might have been. I think he was also somewhat upset about a previous hand where I beat him.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I mean, when you set this up, we have this whole situation here. And then when the resolution is he gets a showdown for free and then you see what he has, that sort of adds evidence to the fact that he's trying to get to showdown. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If you ever ask a question about him angling in a certain situation, that has to be taken into account. I think this has happened to me before where someone thought that I checked when I did nothing at all.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this question. Did you acknowledge to the floor guy? What information was relayed to the floor guy that made him make that decision that you checked it back? Did he ask you if you put your hands up and you acknowledged it? Did he ask anybody else at the table what happened? How did he come to his decision?
The table was not really paying attention that much. The table had nothing to say about it, pretty much. The villain, he said you can check the tapes and stuff, right? He said I put my hands up, and the dealer's agreed, yeah, he put his hands up. And that's pretty much all it took for them to rule against me there.
That the dealer said you put your hands up.
Yeah.
And you said, no, I didn't?
Yeah, pretty much. Do you consider that a checking motion? No, putting my hands.
I don't know what they mean by putting your hands up. I don't know if you see me, but putting your hands up like this. Well, sometimes guys give up on a bluff, right? Like this. But that's not, I'll see somebody put their hands up like this and say, I give up. If a guy checks to you and you put your hands up like this and you say, I give up, I would consider that a check. If you don't say anything, that's not a check.
My chips. Yeah, the thing is, I was saying there's no way anyone thought I meant to check ever because I didn't make any classic checking motion where I tap the table or I wave my hand forward. And I'm counting my chips the whole time. It would make no sense for me to, sit there and count my chips and put out a bet. The other guy, he just waited until that so he could say that I checked. That's what I feel like.
Sometimes when you're playing around with your chips, somebody takes that as a check because you're tapping the table, or sometimes it's an unwarranted tapping the table, or you don't even necessarily realize that you were doing it. But putting your hands up in the air and then somebody saying that that's a check, I'm going to tell you what I would tell. Here's the thing about your situation.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I'll take that back. I was going to say, once you guys go to showdown, there's nothing really more that can be done. But what I would have probably, was this during the day or at night or what?
So just a normal time, 8 p.m. or something.
All right. So the reason why I asked is I was just wondering, who might be there of the higher ups. Because sometimes if you're playing at 5 a.m, there is no higher up, right? That can be, there's actually always a shift manager. Sometimes the shift manager, though, will be the one floor guy. I'm trying to think of overnight games that I played at the bike. But usually there's always somebody that you can go up to. And in this exact case with your situation, You can't let them go to showdown. Like, so if this guy came over to me and made that ruling, I'd be like, I want to speak with somebody higher up. Don't let them make it go to showdown because you still want to have the option to bet, right? But
I think at this point, it's pretty much, I mean, even if it was ruled to me, that I don't even know if he's calling with King 4.
Well, I'm just saying that, like, if anybody who's watching this, or if you're ever in this type of situation again and you get a bullshit ruling, you need to escalate up the ladder if it's possible. Now, we had that call from Aurora a while back where there's nobody. I mean, sometimes it's not possible, but you at least need to go try to say, hey, can I talk to a supervisor? Can I talk to a supervisor? In this particular case, you want to do it before showdown. I
know, yeah, because once it said showdown and stuff, like I didn't flip my hand over, but he flipped it over immediately. I was like, okay, now the hand's over. We can't even do anything, right?
Well, I don't know about that though, because that could be an angle too. I wouldn't stop there. If I were you and I was trying to make my case to this guy, the floor guy, and then my opponent turned his hand over, I would be like, I would ignore. I mean, you have to you acknowledge the fact that the guy turned his hand over, but he doesn't get to just shut everything down by turning his hand over. No way.
Yeah.
I would still plead my case. But anyways, it's an unfortunate situation. I would just say, I don't really know if you did anything. If you're conveying the story accurately, I don't really know what you could have
This
done
is quite literally exactly what happened. Yeah. I mean, I went over after like the hand. Obviously, it's too late just to like talk to the floor.
Mm-hmm.
So there's like 2 floor managers, and like he told me he checked the tapes, and he said I put my hands up, and that would just be considered a check. And I don't see why that's considered a check, but I guess that's the ruling. So I'm like, at this point, if we're at like the checks to me on the river, I just like I just sit still.
Yeah, no, exactly.
I actually have something interesting that happened yesterday too.
What's that?
It's like with the dealer too, where the dealer actually shorted me money.
Shorted you? How did the dealer short you money?
They miscounted. Like, if you want to hear this real quick.
Okay.
So it was a bomb pot. Matrix, they do single board hold'em. It's not that fun, but it's 20 each pre. Okay. And basically, the flop was 4, 6, 7 all hearts.
Okay.
I have the ace of hearts and a 7 top pair with the nut flush draw. The guy bets 50, and the guy next to me goes all in for 300.
Okay.
And I'm kind of tilted. I'm down. I call.
So you have a single board. You have top pair and the nut flush draw.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I call. I have about 380 behind, I'd say.
Okay.
And then the guy that bet 50, he tanks for like 2 minutes. He tanks. And because I let the guy next to me that went all in look at my hand, I think that guy realized I didn't have a flush. I just had a draw. So I shouldn't have done that. Either way, he puts me all in, and then I snap call. Like, I wasn't going to fold.
Mm-hmm.
The guy turns over 8-5 for the flop straight. Black 8-5, no redraw. So he just has to hold. And then the guy that went all in for less, he chose the 8 of hearts. So he also has a lower flush draw.
Okay.
The turn is actually pretty sick. It's the 6 of hearts. It gives me the ace high flush, but it gives the guy next to me the straight flush.
Okay.
So he wins the main pot.
But you guys have money on the side. Right. Mm-hmm.
The side's the side. I still profit because I have more behind.
Right.
So I have like 380, 385. So I should get like 770 to 780-ish.
Mm-hmm.
And like after like I get my money, the stack feels a bit shallow. And I remember writing it down because, I have like my ledger and stuff. I had about 670 in my stack. Okay. And I didn't even realize this until like 3-4 hands later. And then I mentioned it to the dealer. And then she's like, you got to tell the floor. And then I tell the floor about the situation. And then he comes back like 10 minutes later. I give him the information about the hand. It was a bit too late at that time. He said I should mention it immediately.
Yeah, I know. Sometimes it's hard to do, right? Because you don't necessarily know. Yeah.
Because I just trusted the count's right. And then he comes back and says, yeah, you're right. You're shorted about $90.
Did they make the guy give you the money back?
They said they can't do anything about it anymore because it's so late.
Was the guy still at the table?
Yeah, he was. He was like short stacked and like he agreed to give me like half the money back. I was like,
half the money? Half the money?
Yeah.
Well, like as a deal? You mean they went up to surveillance. You were savvy enough to catch the fact that somehow you got shorted, right? Yeah, you called the floor guy over. They went up to surveillance. They came back and they said, yes, you were shorted. This guy owes you $90. And he would only give you half the money back?
Yeah, I can't force them to. I mean, I could, I guess, by getting super mad, but...
No, but again,
I always... my money, really.
Well, yeah, I always go back to this story in California, too. Like, they can't force people to put money in the pot. It's a civil action, right? But I had this situation at Commerce where I 3/4'd a guy. And we didn't realize it. This was an Omaha high-low. We didn't realize it until after the hand. But like before the next hand, Bart should have gotten 3/4. The guy, of course, refused to pay me.
He refused.
And then they went to the cameras And they came back and they confirmed it. And they said, you owe him whatever, $200. He still refused. So they barred him. They threw him out.
Yeah.
And then like I got a tap on the shoulder like 2 weeks later. They had my money because the guy's such a degen. Like he came back and paid the cage and they paid me. That's usually what the resolution is. I'm surprised, A, that they said we can't do anything about it. And B, that the guy would only give you half.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
That was, it's actually interesting because like in between them coming back with the ruling, the guy was short stack and he went all in against me. And he won a flip pretty much because like he was short stack, right?
Yeah.
So that would also mean that he won some extra money by going all in against me because he had some of my money.
Well, you mean, right, because he had extra money. Yes, that's true. Oh, you mean just from a human perspective? Like, why wouldn't he just give you it back, right? He actually benefited, right, from the bad ruling. Why wouldn't he just give a little money back to you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's wild, man. That's wild.
Like from now on, I just have to like be more careful and check my stack.
Well, anytime you're in a situation where there's a side pot involved like that, absolutely, you got to do it right away. You got to make sure it's right away.
I just thought the deal would be right, but this was like at 4 a.m.
No, definitely
not a great time.
Not in California, that's for sure. Anyways, thank you very much for the call. I appreciate it.